Welcome. So let's take a look at the vapply function as we continue our tour of the apply family of functions. So we've looked at apply, lapply, and sapply, and now we're ready to think about vapply. So vapply works very similar to sapply. It's a slightly safer version in the sense that it requires us to specify the data type expected from each application of the function. So data type means whether we want an integer or a decimal or a logical as our output, for example. So it's not the data structure I'm talking about here, but the data type. vapply also attempts to simplify the output using the same simplify to array function that is used in sapply. So we do have this issue that we don't necessarily know what the structure of the data is going to be, but at least we know what the data type is going to be because we have to specify that. So the vapply function does still have some uncertainty in the sense that we might not know what to expect from the data structure. Are we going to get a vector, a matrix? What are going to be the number of rows and columns in our matrix? Or maybe we get a list. So that is something that we need to be careful about. So let's see how the vapply function works. We'll take a look at some examples. So we'll create a list L1, which has the integers from 1 to 4, and as the first entry, the first element, and the second element of list L1 is a vector of integers from 4 to 7. We'll create a second list L2 that also has two elements that are vectors, numeric vectors, but this list is going to have vectors of decimals of data type double. So the first element in list L2 is a vector of decimals 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. And the second element is a vector of decimals 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, and 7.5. So let's go ahead and apply the max function just to change up the function from mean. We can specify any function that we really want over here. The max function doesn't require any additional arguments. So this is going to apply the max to the first element of L1. The maximum value in this is 4. It's going to apply the max function to the second element in our list and going to get 7. So we should expect here to get two results, 4 and 7. And I suspect that vapply is going to choose to store them in a vector of two values. But what we do need to specify here is this new argument, which is fun.value, which is going to tell us what data type we want the output to be. And in this case, each time I run and apply this max function, what do I want to get? Well, I want to get a number. I'm going to get one value. And here I'm specifying, I want that value stored as an integer since it might not be clear whether or not that output is going to be an integer or a decimal. So if I'm going to use this output as input into commands down the line, it might make a big difference as far as whether that output is being stored as an integer or a double, as a decimal. So this did indeed create a vector of two values, and those values are being each stored as an integer. If I apply the same function to L2, so it's going to go into this list, it's going to apply the max function to this first element. The maximum value is 4.5. And now this is instructing R to store that value as an integer of length 1, as a vector like that is an integer that has one value. but 4.5 is not an integer. It's going to take the max of the second element, which is going to be 7.5, and then store that as an integer. So let's see what happens when we do this. We have an issue here that these are decimal values that we're telling R to store as an integer. So we are getting an error message here, and it's saying that the values must be an integer, but what we're getting out of the function are doubles. We don't know what to do. So we'll see how we can fix this in the next video.